So it is known in our community that our relatives are buried here.
The Holy Childhood Native American boarding school was open in Harbor Springs from the 1800s to the mid-1980s. Generations of Native American children attended the school. Meredith Kennedy was among the last of the students to walk the halls. But her connection with the school became even more personal in 2011, when human remains were unearthed during road work around Holy Childhood.
We'd been given 2 days to go and collect our ancestors. We didn't get all of them. And they're still under the road because whoever we couldn't get got paved back over. When we were working in 2011, you could clearly tell. You cannot mistake an adult femur for a child femur.
The discovery only further confirmed long-held beliefs that children died at Holy Childhood. Dawn Sinaway Crampton also worked to collect what remains they could.
It made my gut hurt, and it made my heart hurt, because it's like, what did this child do to deserve to walk on? Or what did somebody do to this child? And that's the saddest thing, because we will never know the potential. We will never know what these children could have been.
It's a situation not unique to Harbor Springs and likely to repeat itself at sites of former boarding schools across the U.S. Canada faced its own reckoning with the discovery of hundreds of unmarked graves at boarding schools earlier this year, and that prompted this Facebook video from Kennedy.
We do not have an official protocol for how to reinterr our ancestors because they were never supposed to be there to begin with.
That spurred a group of survivors of Holy Childhood who now meet monthly to not only heal, but also discuss how to share the story of what happened here and at other Native American boarding schools.
We need to get this out. We need to let America also have that shame. And we need to no longer be the Indian problem, because that is how U.S. policy has always treated us, as the Indian problem. So we needed to be the Indian solution.
Washington, D.C. is also taking action. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, the first Native American to hold a cabinet position, has ordered a review of U.S. Native American boarding school policies. She's tasked former Bay Mills Tribal President Brian Newland with compiling this report. Newland currently serves as Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs at the Interior Department. The report is expected to detail historic records along with possible burial sites.
We're all putting our hopes in that her initiative will bring the truth out and start the healing and justice and reconciliation. The biggest thing of it is the impact that boarding school did to the intergenerational trauma, the unresolved grief, and then we carry that burden and pass it down to our kids.
For all of my ancestors under this road and my relatives, they deserve a proper burial. My families within my community deserve healing. My families deserve to be able to say for the next 7 generations, we are going to heal. And we will be a people that we know we are and that we have always been.
For years, Native American boarding schools witnessed unspeakable horrors, a dark history that for decades stayed silent, but now begs not to be forgotten, with a new chapter in the history of these schools opening. And for the survivors, their story, in many ways, is just beginning.
We need everyone in the community to at least recognize that this has happened, and awareness that this has happened. We're not looking for people to feel guilty. We're just looking for them to say, wow.
It's very sad because we always thought it was just us. And here it is, happening all over the world. And for so long. But I say the time is now that everybody's talking all over the world.
It's like a freedom to be who you were meant to be. And for our communities to heal, there's so much that needs to be done in the healing process.
Newland said in a statement back in September, engaging tribes is a necessary step as we work to shed light on what happened at federal boarding schools and chart our path forward. These conversations will not be easy, but they are critical as we truly investigate the legacy that these institutions left behind. And remember, you can listen to David's full interviews with the survivors he spoke with in both parts of this special report. His podcast can be found on 9on10news.com.